Very good evening to you with the Friday edition of Sports Night. I'm Damien Best. Well, 17 dismissals took the headlines on day 2 of the first test between West Indies and Bangladesh in Chittagong. On the second day, the Windies conceded first innings lead but are fighting back going into the third day. Bangladesh began day 2 on 315 for 8 and were eventually bowled out for 324. Jamal Warrican finished with figures of 4 for 62. Shannon Gabriel picked up 4 for 70. In the Windies' first innings, they were bowled out for just 246, with wicketkeeper batsman Shane Dorich leading the way with an unbeaten 63, inclusive of 2 fours and 3 sixes. Shimron Hetwar, he also scored 63 to help the West Indies cause. His innings had 5 fours and 4 sixes. Roston Chase, he got 31, while Naeem Hassan took 5 for 61 and Shakib Al Hassan 3 for 43. Now in Bangladesh's second innings, they are in a whole heap of trouble as they were 55 for 5 at the end of play, which represents a lead of just 133 with 5 wickets remaining. The chase so far, Roston Chase rather has 2 for 16, while Warrican he has 2 for 22. West Indies fast bowler Shannon Gabriel has received a 1-test suspension from the ICC following an incident in this Chittagong test, where he made physical contact with Bangladesh's Imran Kayes. This means Gabriel will not be available for the second test of the series, which will be played in Maipur from November 30th. In the 8th over, Gabriel and Kayes made shoulder contact while the bowler was in his follow-through. This happened as the batsman was looking for a single on the leg side and didn't have the bowler in his line of vision. Gabriel was warned by umpire Alim Dar, but in his next over, he appeared to have nudged Kayes' shoulder again, which was accompanied by a verbal exchange between the two. Now, Gabriel received 2 demerit points and was fined 30% of his match fee for the incident, taking his tally of demerit points to 5. He had picked up 3 demerit points during the Jamaica test against Pakistan in April 2017. At that time, Gabriel had also made contact with a batsman. In this case, it was Sarfraz Ahmed at the non-striker's end while collecting his cap from the umpire. As per ICC regulations, if a player reaches a tally of 4 demerit points within a 24-month period, he or she receives a suspension. Each point stays on the player's record for 24 months from the date of sanctioning, and suspensions are handed out when 4, 8, or 12 points are aggregated. That means that if Gabriel received 3 more demerit points for any reason before April 2019, he will receive a longer suspension. The 2 demerit points he has received for the latest incident will stay on his record till November 2020. Well, the Athletes Association of Barbados has a new home. The office of the AAB, located at building number 6 Harbour Industrial Park, was officially opened last night by President of the IAAF, Lord Sebastian Coe. Lord Coe, who is on the island vacationing with family, was joined by President of the AAB, Catherine Jordan, Chairman of the National Sports Council, MacDonald Fingal, and officials of the Barbados Olympic Association for the unveiling of a plaque to mark the occasion. Lord Coe said he was happy the IAAF could contribute to the operations of the AAB in a small way through the Olympic athletic dividend. He also stressed that athletes require good administrative power in order to advance their careers.
We recognize that the heart of any organization is actually its administrative ability to drive those pathways and programs that we've witnessed in 2 of your very young talented athletes coming through. I've seen them both at Carifta and in Tampere at the World Junior Championships just in the last year. Jonathan Jones and Kyle Gale. Sadly, Gale, I saw break the Usain Bolt's 400-meter boys record. Unfortunately, I think a couple of strides later, he actually managed to put his foot over the line, so it didn't actually count. But clearly 2 very young talents coming through. But you need administrative horsepower behind that talent. That talent doesn't get to where we hope it gets to without that kind of support. So that's why this building is so important, and I'm so pleased that we've been able to play through the IAAF just a modest role in that.
Well, President Jordan highlighted the challenges of finding a suitable headquarters for the AAB and said she is satisfied their persistence has paid off.
Adequate storage, though, was our biggest issue, and not just to find a suitable office space, but it's the storage that became our biggest issue. And we sought all over this country to look for a ground floor office that's capable of meeting the needs of the Federation, but finding enough storage space on the ground floor so we can get stuff in. After many months, and thanks to Mrs. Trotman, CEO, we found this space. What had happened, I think her heart hurt for us. The rent they were asking us, because they do commercial renting, they don't do renting for federations. So I think she felt so badly for us. I kept calling and kept calling and kept calling. And she knew I couldn't afford commercial space, but I kept calling. Then she called one day to ask if Jason called to ask if I'm still interested, if I'm still looking. They think they found a place.
Well, Chairman of the NSC, MacDonald Fingal, said the National Stadium, another vital arm of the AAB, needs some urgent attention.
Is really in dire straits. If anybody see it really lately, it just is a poor sight. Stadiums do that. Like all buildings, they do deteriorate at some point in time. That's the reality of life. But it so happens that this one was, when it was deteriorating, we didn't have a way called or maybe a sustainable refurbishment program. So it has just fallen to pieces. But it has happened at a very unfortunate time, a time when we're not in a position to do anything economically. So we have a problem where we need to get this stadium back up, especially now, because Barbados was the first country that held the Caribbean Games, correct? And I believe the 50th Caribbean Games is coming up in about 2 years or so? 2021, right. And we would love to be able to have the Caribbean Games here in Barbados at the United Stadium.